Episode 6 of The Glory begins with a significant turning point in Yeo-young's life. He meets his mother for a lunch date and reveals that he has finally made a decision about his future. With determination in his eyes, Yeo-young hands his mother a resignation letter, explaining that he wants to open his own practice in Semyeong, the city where the girl he likes resides. He confides in his mother about his feelings for her and his decision to pursue his dreams. Yeon-jin visits a shaman with her mother and prays to find a solution to the Dong-yoon problem. Her mother thinks that she is incapable and suggests to call someone who works at the Ministry of Education to get Dong-yoon fired. Yeon-jin stops her and says she is scared that getting fired will provoke Dong-yoon. She is terrified that Dong-yoon will start speaking up and Ha Yi-sol will find out what kind of a monster she is. Her mom advises her to stop looking for solutions in the past and seek them in the present. Elsewhere, Dong-yoon gets an urgent message from Hyun-nam, asking her to call her ASAP. They meet at their usual place, and Hyun-nam expresses her worry about not being able to find Myung-oh. She last saw him heading to a travel agency, and she fears he might have switched sides. Dong-yoon tells her that there is also the possibility that he is dead, and that won't be in their best interest. Hyun-nam asks Dong-yoon if she was the one who killed him. She wants to know so she can prepare herself to protect Dong-yoon. Dong-yoon draws the line and tells her that even if she killed Myung-oh, she doesn't need to know. Dong-yoon warns her that they are getting too close and reminds her that they should only stick to their contract. Jae-jun arrives home after many days. He finds that Myung-oh stole all his luxury clothes and watches. Yeon-jin meets with the police chief to ask him if he can find Dong-yoon's private information. He says he is yet to find anything, and it is no easy task. As they discuss their plan, Yeon-jin receives a call from Jae-jun, but she refuses to pick up. On the other side of town, Dong-yoon seeks help from Gu Seong-hee to find out if Myung-oh left the country as he planned. Gu Seong-hee checks and learns that Myung-oh never left the country. Myung-oh's disappearance makes Dong-yoon question what steps she should take. She decides to target Do-young and make him the butterfly that will flap its wings for her. Clueless about how he will soon be part of Dong-yoon's plan, Do-young finishes the project of creating a large-scale Go board game on a rooftop. In the meantime, Sa-ra is having a hard time getting her drugs from Myung-oh, who is still not replying to any of her messages. Hye-jeong is also looking for Myung-oh after receiving a letter from him threatening to expose her secrets. She is on the verge of getting married to a chaebol, and she wants to make sure he doesn't ruin it. As Dong-yoon carries on with her day, she gets a call from Hyun-nam informing her that there is a car following her. Dong-yoon is surprised that Hyun-nam was tailing her, but she tells her that she will work on losing the men following her. She manages to get into a minor accident with the men in the car, and they agree to settle the damage with cash. The driver asks for Dong-yoon's phone number and tells her to meet him with cash when he calls her. After the minor incident, Dong-yoon meets with Hyun-nam, who explains that she was following Jae-jun, who was at the school, when she spotted the people following Dong-yoon. Dong-yoon is embarrassed that she thought she couldn't trust Hyun-nam. She apologizes and they make up. Jae-jun asks Hye-jeong if she knows the birthday date of Ha Yi-sol. He tells her that he believes that he is her biological father. Hye-jeong thinks he is crazy and going too far, and tells him that he might not be the only man Yeon-jin is sleeping with. She tells him that maybe she and Myung-oh are not answering their phones because they are together. On the other hand, Do-young receives a letter from Myung-oh. He decides to visit Jae-jun at his golf club to ask where he can find Myung-oh. Jae-jun asks him if he also got a letter from Myung-oh threatening him. He tells Do-young that he is also looking for Myung-oh, and they exchange contact cards and promise to let each other know if one of them finds Myung-oh. During their conversation, Do-young notices the cigarette brand that Jae-jun smokes is the same as his wife's. After their interaction, Jae-jun leaves a message for Myung-oh on his phone, promising to kill him if Ha Yi-sol's true identity is the motive of his threats. He later gets the results of the DNA test back, and he learns that Ha Yi-sol is his biological daughter. Elsewhere, Yeo-young moves to Semyeong and rents a house. He texts Dong-yoon telling her how they never ended their Go match properly. At the time, Dong-yoon was at a mechanic shop getting her car fixed. She sees people cooking pork on a pan, and the sound of the meat searing makes her remember being burned. She starts having an anxiety attacks. She decides to visit Yeo-young, and she tells him about her plans to get revenge. Yeo-young is initially worried about how the revenge will affect her. He changes his mind when Dong-yoon undresses before him, and he sees all her scars. He promises to help her by joining the hunt and being her executioner.